incredibly successful.
Great.
Okay, all right, we'll get into that. All right, so let's come back from break.
Pass it on to my boys.
Especially swimming. Okay, here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with my co-hosts Vern Glenn and Bruce McGowan. When we cut to the first commercial break, we asked this trivia question. When Mickey told Rocky, we're talking Rocky movies here, this guy's a wrecking machine, he'll knock you in tomorrow. Who was that foe?
You're asking me?
Now I'm asking you.
Oh, I'm going with Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang.
Mr.
There you
T.
go.
Yeah.
I would have picked either Apollo Creed or that Russian guy, Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, Dolph Lundgren, yeah.
Mr. T is the
He
guy.
didn't have any lines in that movie, did he?
No, he just looked mean. He looked down at Rocky and like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, but did Mickey die during the club?
In the club, yeah, in the club
Yeah.
lane he died, and then in the fourth one, Apollo Creed died.
Yeah,
right?
that's
He
right.
went around and
Yep.
goes, if he dies, he dies. Okay, Vern, you wanted to ask our guest a question. We're in the studio here also with Bob Kriegel, who is a sports psychologist.
Yeah, Bob. But just curious. I mean, have you had the athlete that's just an absolute mess? He just comes to you and just says, "Hey, I'm putting myself in your hands," and then boom. I don't want to say boom that soon, but after working with a few sessions, hey, the guy got it.
Well, I tell you, one of the things that I did was I worked with a guy in the NBA, and I signed a thing where I never mentioned his name.
Give us the initials. Come on.
MJ. Larry LB.
Is he currently in the association?
Anyway.
Oh, this is great. I love Bob.
He's going to give me a hard time.
Okay, but he shot free throws underhand. Does that give you a hand?
No.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bob.
And he was really doing bad, and he's going to the game, and I'm in a slump, and I'm really bummed out. What I did was I took videos they had of his best moves, the times when he was really doing well, shooting well, stealing the ball, getting assists, and I made a personal highlight film. And I put music on him, and I had him watch it every night for a month. And it was about 15 minutes long. And just to watch that and keep watching it. And I want to tell you, his scoring, his steals per game, and his assists all improved by more than 40%.
Wow.
Wow. Well, you got a guy there who has 15 minutes of good film. I mean, if it was me, it'd be about 15 seconds, and I have to keep watching it over again.
That's because you ain't in the NBA.
I figured the only difference between me and the NBA is a 7-foot rim and a ball that's as big as a softball. That's the only difference. Of course, I still wouldn't make it. Go ahead, Bob. You wanted to show
You
us
could invent your own game.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
Bob, you wanted to give us a
technique?
Yeah.
So, the idea is a lot of people go into a situation when you go into a sport, and I would talk to people like if you're playing golf and you hit 5 good drives or 6 good drives, and you hit 3 or 2 not so good, 1, you're still looking for it, you leave, what's the one you're thinking of? The one, where the hell did that goddamn ball go? And you're not even remembering the positive ones you have. There's something in people's minds, whether it's at work and business, is you can do well, you make one mistake, and you focus on the mistake, you think you screwed up. So what I would do is to say, hey, let's do a reality check. Let's look at it. You had 7 good drives. Let's remember the good drives, because if you remember the bad ones, the next time you get up, you're thinking, oh, man, I'm really crappy. I hit it out last time, and then you try too hard, you hit it out again. So what I'm doing is changing people's mindsets. I'm not doing positive thinking, Positive thinking when you're feeling really negative. It's like putting on a clean shirt when you really need a shower. And the idea is I'm doing reality thinking. Hey, you were there. You've really done well in the past. Remember that. That increases your confidence, gives you more motivation, and helps you to perform a lot better.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to carry that with me because when I play golf, I go out and shoot 102. Boy.
Oh, you're lucky. You get 102. That's better than I shoot.
That 88th shot, man, that's the one that'll keep me coming back.
But you know something, though? I think America...
That's right, exactly. Don't they say that?
That's right.
Coming back.
I was going to say, I think Americans
you
are...
look at it and you think, oh, man, the fairway's really narrow. What am I going to do? But, I've given over 2,000 keynote speeches. And, when I teach people about giving speeches, speeches and being, running great meetings. The tendency, you're giving a talk, everybody's paying attention. One guy's looking at his watch. Who are you watching? The guy that's looking at his watch, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking, man, I'm really screwed up. I'm really not doing well. You start talking too fast. You start getting tense. You start losing your timing. You forget things. It's the same thing.
I think it's America in general, and I'm not saying that European athletes and Asian athletes don't have the same malady, but I think because we live in such a immediate gratification society, especially now with the social media distracting us, I think athletes get conditioned, just like the rest of us, to want to have success immediately, and it just creates a monster. And I think that it's true in all walks of life, don't you?
Yeah, I think that's really true. I mean, we got like a McDonald's mentality. We wanted like instant everything.
Yeah.
But it sounds like TV news.
So, Vern, you're talking about golf. I mean, I didn't tell you guys that I'm a scratch golfer. I mean, I hit the ball, I scratch my head.
That's a good one.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Okay, Bob, thank you so much for joining us here in the studio.
My pleasure.
And we will talk to you soon.
Okay, great. Okay, nice to talk with you guys.
Take care, Bob.
I like Bob.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
I'm a Bob fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Bob.
Power of positive thinking.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well,
The glass is half full.
That's
That's
right.
right. There
That's
you
where you
go.
gotta look at it.
Okay,
Right.
one of the topics we want to go over before we hit the next commercial break is licensing players. What rights do players have? There was something recently here. Actually, I don't know how recent this was, but just an idea I want to go over. Federal District Court in San Francisco denied the NCAA's request to dismiss the class action lawsuit challenging their right to use former athletes' images and likenesses on TV commercials, clothes, video games, etc. The lawsuit claims the NCAA must pay former athletes for such uses. So, what do you guys think about that?
I think it's fair. I mean, the players, most of the NCAA athletes, 99% of them, 95% of them don't even get a sniff at the pros. And that means they make no money on the professional level, and these schools are making billions of dollars.
They're making a killing off of
Yeah.
it. I remember Chris Webber was always bitter about him barely having enough money. This is when he was playing at Michigan. Barely having enough money to buy like a burger and some fries. And he walks by this sporting goods store right in the showcase window, the Chris Webber jersey for, I don't know, $88 or whatever, and it's just flying off the shelves. He's like, man,
Well,
I can't even get a little piece of that.
I understand the flip side of it too. When people say, "Well, they're getting a free education," but not every student who is going to school is having to take a full load and be going to practice and be subject to that kind of pressure. So it's a little different. I don't know.
There's so many onion layers behind that. It'd be the full scholarship, the partial scholarship.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give you some money here. There's the term red shirt, gray shirt. There's all. It's just that you make your head explode.
You guys remember Ed O'Bannon?
Sure. UCLA.
UCLA, that's right. National championship and all that. So, let's see here. He scored 30 points, grabbed 17 rebounds in the championship game, was named the most valuable or most outstanding player. These days, O'Bannon coaches high school basketball team and sells cars in Las Vegas. Now, I don't know how much money at the NCAA made on him, but that's a perfect example. I mean, these poor guys are in college, and I mean, I guess they're allowed to have a part-time job doing something other than sports.
Yeah, but if you're the star, you can't get a paid internship at a car dealership and have the car dealership. Hey, it's Archie Griffin Ford.
Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, here he says here his glory still lives on because you can still watch him shoot hoops that clinched the national title on DVD sold by Amazon. So the thing is, the NCAA is making all that money, and he wants part of those profits.
Hey, speaking of glory, I don't know if you guys watched that ESPN 30 for 30 documentary. I just saw the other one the other day on the 1982 Little League Championship, the Little League World Series Championship, and the kid, the star of the team, 12 years old, just blew away everybody. He was the biggest dog out there.
Long Beach?
No, it's Washington. His team's from Washington State.
Okay.
And they beat Taiwan, and it was like, they beat the evil empire. Beat Taiwan. He had a game-winning homer. He just struck out 12. He was just like the man, but it ended up ruining his life, man.
Too much success too early.
He
Too
quit.
much success too early.
What happened to him?
Well, because he was just this instant star. He's 12 years old from a small town in Washington State. All of a sudden, he's on Good Morning America. He's on all. He has doesn't know how to handle it. And then as he kept playing, he's 13, he's 14. There's the kid, there's the Little League World Series hero. Then he became a target, and they're like, hey, if we can beat him, then hey, we got it. And he just couldn't turn it on, and the pressure got to him, and he was just washed out of the game by the time he was 18.
You see the same thing happen with childhood movie actors and actresses. Very few of them make transition to the adult roles effectively. Most of them have problems, or they get out of it entirely. It's amazing.
Yeah. I know a lot of times the kids, they push themselves too hard. I had a friend who
They don't get to be a kid.
Not only that, but the thing is, they're kids 18 years old, through the high 80s. Back then that was pretty good. Threw his arm out.
Of course.
Had a stint with those White Sox.
That's why you want to learn how to throw the knuckleball or sidearm it. See, sidearm it or knuckleball. You don't submarine it.
And as a parent, you guys has lived with the fact that I have a couple of swimmers in the family that are having a great deal of success. Well, my youngest one just aged up to 9, because when you're 8 and under, you swim 25 yards. It's just one length of the pool. That's it. When you age up to 9, 10, then you gotta go down and back. So he just had to meet his first meet. So these high expectations on him, and he wins the freestyle. Okay, but his signature event is the breaststroke, and he got over there to where the starting blocks were, but he's used to having a coach or a parent in his ear. But he had to go to a different area, and all of a sudden he didn't know what he was supposed to do, and where he was supposed to be. He was late, and he was just all flustered. He ends up finishing second, and we're like, and people are like, what's wrong with him? What happened? He's only 9.
Okay, let's get into real quickly here. In Rocky 38, Rocky wears Depends. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, what was Rocky's record when you look at his fights in the ring for all 6 Rocky movies? That's a tough one. The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day 2-night stay at Lighthouse Resort. Their website, lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-660-4495 to answer this question. What was Rocky's record when you look at all the fights that he had in the ring in all 6 movies? And don't touch that dial, because Sports Econ 101 will be right back.
I completely forgot that we were actually on the air. I thought we were just BSing.
Well, that's the whole part of the.
I know.
That's the allure of the show.
Shows you how
you don't know the microphone's there.
That's exactly it. It's just I hate to cut guys off.
No, that's okay. No, you got to be the producer. That's your job. It's your show. Remember, that was the nice thing about doing those weekends. We could kind of let it slide. Yeah. And I never had Agnew screaming at me because the weekends didn't matter. Nobody, the funny thing was we had more